can change in a negative fashion, but you don't want it changed in a negative fashion. So you must have an idea of what you can do to cause it not to change in a negative fashion. All right, so here. Your development and welfare would be of interest to that person. That person would be interested in you developing. That person would be, if you're in school and studying, that person would be interested in you being the best you can be and not being jealous of you. Now, the reality is this. You would find, I'm not being prejudiced against male or whoever, but you will find in our natural society here today, I think it exists also in the world, in most countries, most developed countries, both developing or developed countries, you will find that the female is the most dominant person in any kind of business structure. That's a reality. I'm not being, like I say, I'm not being prejudiced against males. No. You will find in college and university today, in the University of the Bahamas, you will find the majority of people in there are females. You'll find in universities across the world, the majority of people in those people are females. So what's going to happen? Those females are going to graduate with great degrees and training and all that stuff, and they're going to be competitors with you, with the males in the field, in the work field. And many of them are going to get the top positions because they're brilliant, just like the males. Whatever is required to be done can be done with male or female. Okay? So remember here. And you may fall in love with somebody, you may fall in love with someone who is not as what you call academically as adept as you. I had a situation, one of the situations that I had some time ago, pardon me, that a lady came and this person was a manager of a bank. And she was married to a fellow who didn't even have a sensible job. I said, how does that happen? Well, we fell in love and so on and so. She was willing to compromise what she had. That's the first thing. She was willing to compromise what she had to share with this fellow. But the guy, he sort of abused it. And so she had to leave him. That's just it. Okay, so, and you'll find that people that you may be in love with envy you, jealous of you, and want to take all what you have. That's a reality. That happens. People may not say so, but in counsel you find out. They bleed. They take all your money. They want to buy this, they want to buy that, want to buy next, and control you. And you don't want that to happen. It shouldn't happen like that anyhow. Okay, so you will find that there's some choices that you have to make as a person in a relationship. Make sure that the person is interested in what you're doing. Okay, now I'm not saying that the person has to have the same level of education as you. You may not find them like that. But if you make the choice. But you got to have a plan, as Apostle Rosetta said. You got to have a plan of where you're going and how you're going to get there, and some ideas to do it. Okay, and the person has to be willing to come in and offer help, offer good suggestions and stuff to that plan if it's going to be with that person. Okay? The next point is, not only would you be able to come to some desirable agreements concerning the matter, but when you differ, it would not cause a negative behavior to happen and cause the relationship to be strained. In other words, the person will say, well, you think you have better ideas than me. So in other words, sometimes you will find a mate trying to act in a capacity as if that person is your husband already. You see? So in other words, the psyche of the man being the head of the home, they figure that they must be in control of everything. God didn't say that. God gave him a help meet. That's what he said. And he says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. So it's like this. You must honor each other. You must care for one another. But in God's sight, he has to look for somebody to be ahead of the guidance of the home. That's God's choice. Okay? Right. That's God's choice. The male is God's choice, the head of the home. So don't let the person feel as if they're the head of the home already. In other words, the person will say, well, you got to get used to me doing this because if we get married, then I'm going to be doing it. No. You got to decide, this is how we're going to do it. Both of you have to agree. And if you can't come to an agreement, you find counsel. That's what you do. It's not that you don't need counsel. You will find a lot of people today who got married with the wrong pretense, and they get in situations, and then the husband in particular, the husband will say, we don't need no help. We could deal with this ourselves, but we can deal with it all the time. Nobody listens to one another. And the simple thing to do is to get help. See? And so when you refuse help, then you're saying, forget but you, I'm interested in me. That's what you're saying, is a selfish attitude. And it's only going to bring forth selfish stuff. The third point is, the person is as responsible as you are. You don't get stuff, and that person just breaks it up or does something that it doesn't care. No, the person sees your feelings about things that you do and things that you have, and then he honors it because that person is just as responsible as you are. Okay? The fourth point is, now I'm going over these things in a little hurried way because of the time, and I pray that you will record them and stuff, okay?